So, this is what does setting healthy boundaries look like for me? So, if you're struggling with interacting with people that just take from you, then I'm hoping that we can kind of see what's going on. So, um, I would also like to say thank you for your donations and your private readings. They have been amazing. And if you'd like to participate, links are in the description box. And I've already pulled the cards that you picked from the pick-a-pile. But we'll go ahead and pull more cards too. So the first oracle cards, you have Unleash Your Creativity and Patience. Oh, Pentacles. And the Emperor. Right off the top, I'm getting keep your mouth shut. Whenever you get a really good idea and you get really excited about it and you start talking about it, you have already doomed yourself, because those good ideas other people are going to take and try to run with them, and then they get the credit for them even though you were like, hey, this is my idea. But you don't have enough, you haven't done enough towards your idea to make it look like this was originally your idea. So someone takes your idea and makes something big and quick out of it, and it's such a good idea that it doesn't matter really the presentation. And you're spending a lot of time on your presentation, which is a beautiful thing. You can take time if you keep your mouth shut. Because if nobody knows what you're doing, then they can't take that idea. And I know it's real hard to keep good ideas like cooped up and stuff, but that just takes practice. Because you can only get ran over so many times before it's going to eat you alive. So, if you can practice keeping your mouth shut while you're working on these ideas, then you're going to be able to get the recognition that you deserve. Not only that you desire, but you deserve. And you deserve a lot more recognition than you even have desire for. So, when you're talking to people at work and they start asking you questions, you don't have to answer them. You can be cold. Tell them you don't have any ideas. I mean, that's kind of an outright lie, but at the same time, are you okay with that lie, or are you okay with them taking your ideas? Or you can just tell them, I'm not telling you. But then when you do that, they're going to pry more. Because then they know that you have an idea and they want it, because that's the only reason that they're successful in any way, shape, or form, is because they're siphoning everything off of you. So you don't owe anybody any explanation for anything. Period. You don't have to put all your business out there. In fact, don't put any of your business out there. None. So, that's a healthy way for you to set a boundary so that way you can flourish. So, shh. Good luck. Line number 2. So, this is, what does setting healthy boundaries look like for me? And I'd like to say first that thank you for your donations and your private readings. They have been amazing. And if you'd like to participate, links are in the description box. And we're going to flip over your first oracle card and see what kind of healthy boundaries we can set. Gratitude list. So counting your blessings and feeling gratitude for what you already have helps you to be centered in your heart instead of fixated on worries in your mind. What and who you are grateful for right now? What and who are you grateful for right now? Keep focusing upon gratitude and you'll discover the amazing generosity of the universe. Okay, so the first thing that stood out was that you're more in your head than in your heart. And when you're interacting with people, if you're in your head a lot, then you're not really paying attention to what's going on in that relationship. And people can have a tendency to find their way in because you're not there. Does that make any sense? Well, let's see what the cards say. I have actually started doing this at night. I meditate every night as I'm falling asleep. It helps me fall asleep. And I've started that meditation with going through whatever I'm grateful for, and it's whatever pops up in my brain. And I try to just sit in that warmth of being grateful, you know, of having a roof over my head and having a job that I enjoy and having a partner who enjoys my company. You know, just those 3 things I am just so grateful for because that's the first time it's ever happened. And I have noticed that I prefer to be in that energy. And so when if I have to interact with people, I tried not to, but if I have to interact with people, then I'd like to sit in that gratitude feeling, because then if they're not able to take that energy, then they're not going to be able to take anything from you. Energy or time, you know. People can't really, they don't like that feeling, especially when they know that they can't get anything from you. And it looks like you've done a lot of work, especially in the 3D, but you have done a lot of work as far as trying to pick yourself up and to grow, which is great. And so now the universe is asking you to be grateful for the things that you have managed to obtain and achieve since you've been at your worst. And it's kind of hard to do, but you're going to have to do this process at some point, because it's going to happen either later through more work and more growth when you actually start feeling grateful, or you can start practicing this now. And if you start practicing this gratitude list now, people aren't going to be able to run over you as much anymore. And your abundance is going to start coming in triple fold. So, I mean, you're still getting it, but if you start being grateful for it, you'll start getting it 3 times what you were getting before. I'm getting that part of this gratitude list, the universe wants you to write down, or at least start making it self-aware that of what you actually want. What would actually make you happy? Because it looks like that you're still caught in between what is expected of you and what you want to do. And even the things that you want to do don't really seem to be making you happy. I'm also getting that you might need to redefine what you think happy is. Happy is a feeling. It comes and goes. Happiness is like a moment in time where you don't have any worries and you are just in full joy for what is going on in that moment. Now, you can get to a place where you feel that more and more and more and more, and it feels like you're happy all the time. But being happy all the time, that's not life. That's not real. That's the, I think they call that toxic positivity. What you want to aim for is peace, purpose. Those things are what can really jumpstart you into what would make you happy. Or let's just say what would fulfill your life. Because it's not going to ever be one thing all the time that makes you happy. That's also not how it works. Everything comes and goes. It comes in waves. There's ups, there's downs. If you wouldn't be able to feel happy unless you at some point felt disappointment or felt anger or felt, sad. These things, you're supposed to feel all of these things so you can fully experience them and really get that get that fulfillment in life. Because life it's kind of like, these things that are happening, and then it's what you're doing about them. And if you're not putting your feelings into what you're doing, then you're not living life. If you have some numbing techniques, the things you were doing to not feel pain, those are also keeping you from feeling happy. And don't be hard on yourself. Being that hard on yourself is what's causing you pain. So if you start this gratitude list At nighttime, start being grateful for, you know, that what little things happen that day, or what, you know, whatever you can get grateful for. Start doing this, and that this process is actually going to change how your brain functions, so that way you're not so mean to yourself. Because when you're really mean to yourself, that's actually causing your abundance, your progress to slow way down. And those are that process is not an overnight fix. That process is a constant practice. But when you constantly practice something, you get really good at it. So, the first step, make that gratitude list. Or write it down, however you can do it. And do it as often as you can, or as often as you feel like you can genuinely be grateful. Because you want to get into that energy as much as possible. And it'll help you start to change how your brain functions, and how you will be able to have a happier life and better boundaries. Good luck. My number 3. So, this is, what does setting healthy boundaries look like for me? And I want to thank everyone for your donations and your private readings. They've been amazing. And if you'd like to participate, links are in the description box, and we'll get to your cards. So, the first card says, bring it. And that's number 11. So, we'll see what the cards say. And you got justice. I'm getting this vibe of you actually have pretty good boundaries, and it's almost to the point like you're almost like on the other end of the spectrum, where it's like you're overly confident about your boundaries. And I know that doesn't really make much sense. We're gonna pull some cards. It's like Yeah, it's like your boundaries are like pushed out on other people. And then you end up with this blowback and don't really understand why. Yeah, it's definitely kind of that situation that's like you've made your bed, now you gotta lay in it. But you're also in this kind of state of mind where you don't think that you can change your bed. You can change your sheets, you know, at least. But every time that you have a problem and you have to go find somebody to fix it for you, and then you don't return any kind of gratitude, that's where you're walking that fine line of taking advantage of people. Well, that's not a fine line. You are taking advantage of people. You're not being grateful or thankful or showing any kind of love towards this person that did you a favor. They don't owe you anything, regardless of what you think or feel. And when you keep doing this to people, you're inevitably going to, it's going to keep blowing back on you. So, just start by being grateful for people helping you with your shit. Good luck. Hi, number 4. So, this is, what does setting healthy boundaries look like for me? And I'd like to say thank you, everyone, for your donations and your private readings. They've been great. And if you'd like to donate or participate, the links are in the description box, and we'll get to your cards. So, the first one, surrender comparisons with other people. Keep your eyes trained on yourself. Focus on your own strengths, attractiveness, and power. So I'm getting that you compare yourself to, well, everybody. And that comparison is keeping you from blossoming into the star that you're supposed to be. You are not better or worse than anybody else. You are on your own journey. And the things that you're supposed to contribute to your community are things that you have personally learned and experienced and have grown and learned from. I mean, or if there is some subject that you're really interested in, your viewpoint of that subject is different than everybody else's. It's supposed to be. If you have the exact same viewpoint as somebody else, then you're not contributing anything. Now, that doesn't mean that everyone is going to agree with your viewpoint. But if you actually start being honest with how you feel or what you see about the subject that you're studying, then that's where you're going to start to find people that do agree with you. But you're trying to find some kind of validation for being right when the validation is coming from the universe. And that's also kind of where the faith thing comes in. It's like you need to have faith in yourself and in the universe that what you're seeing and feeling is true. And it is true for you. But as long as you're being honest with where you're at and who you are in that moment, then you are serving your purpose. Period. Regardless if people agree with it or not. Because in order for there to be change, there has to be a different point of view. There has to be something that causes conflict, or there has to be something that someone else can grow on. Either way, there is change. Because when things get stagnant, then that's when they start to decay. So, you're not going to find anybody right now out there who sees things the way you do. So, you need to focus on how you see things, and then how you're going to try to make a contribution to the community with what you see. Yeah, and your point of view isn't wrong. I mean, it's people are going to tell you that it's wrong, but it's because it's different. There's nothing wrong with how you see things or how you feel about things. And when you are speaking your truth, then you're going to be headed in the direction that you need to be in to build the life that it is that you want. So, if you're looking for validation, or you're just trying to make yourself feel better because you're comparing yourself to other people, either way, both of those sides are keeping you from serving your purpose. So, just be honest with yourself first. What it is that you see, what it is that you feel. And that's where you'll find your path. Good luck. Hi, number 5. So this is, what does setting healthy boundaries look like for me? And I want to say thank you, everyone, for your donations and your private readings. They've been amazing. And if you'd like to participate, links are in the description box, and we'll get to your cards. So you guys actually got 4. I'm kind of getting this vibe of you kind of fall for temptation and then you feel really bad about it. Ace of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, and the Ace of Swords. Yeah, so I'm kind of getting this whole, you like real new, you like exciting, you like the whole prospect of things. But then you're not really getting out of it what you need. Okay, so can I get some messages on setting boundaries, please? There might be some kind of hobby or hidden little thing that you enjoy doing. And the first piece of advice is that whenever you feel tempted towards things that make you feel bad like this, go do that hobby. The thing that actually brings you real joy, not quick surface love. Because all that's doing is suppressing some other need that you're not meeting. Yeah, because you don't want to. You don't want to deal with that conflict that you have going on inside. And in order to keep yourself distracted from it, that's how you kind of fall under this temptation. And the advice is to do that work that you enjoy doing and use that as your crutch to process that conflict. I mean, if you keep doing this, that's just gonna, well, you know how that's gonna go. Not good. And if you don't deal with this conflict on the inside that you have going on, and you don't address it, then it's not gonna get any better. And it looks like it's a big conflict between what's expected of you and what you want to do. Well, you should do what you want to do, because at least that will lead you on a path that you can learn and grow from. If you continue to try to do what's expected of you, that's how this whole cycle thing is perpetuated. Around and around and around. Yeah. If you, straight up, if you go down the path that whatever your dream is, whatever it is that you want to do, that's what's going to lead you to having a happy, no regret kind of life. Good luck.